Welcome to the Stringers podcast number 001. That's right. First time for new things, new beginnings. Right after Labor Day, it's kind of like this kids are going back to school, and I want to do something different. This is going to be an in-conversation style podcast because, let's face it, I like to talk, and talking I do a lot of. The first guest we were able to welcome in is Akil Augustine. We're old friends. We go way back. 10 years or so. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram at Akil Augustine or on his website, akilaugustine.com. But before we get to that, I've got a technical producer. Her name's Kylie. She's pretty cool.
Hey there.
Hey, Kylie.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
So the idea here is we're a Toronto-based podcast. I like my city. I get out and about in my city. What's going on this week? Give me a couple things that are going on that you're interested in that maybe people want to check out.
Well, I did one a couple months ago. A drink and paint party.
Drink and paint?
A drink and paint party with some music.
I know exactly what my painting would look like.
It's happening at the Paint Cabin on Friday, September 8th. Go check it out. Also, that day, the It movie is getting released.
Oh, have you seen the statues?
I have.
So I have a friend that I used to work with. Her name is Akasha, and she just recently went over to Warner Brothers to work with their marketing team in Warner Brothers Canada, and so our marketing and communications team. So she actually is like on the ground doing that promotion, and it's unbelievable. They freak the heck out of me.
But everyone during the business hours are like, oh no, so many people are standing and taking photos and everyone hates it. So
because they're not doing work, they're doing photos.
Because, everyone in Toronto walks fast, so.
Now they're stopping and looking at a little yellow raincoat and a red balloon.
Yeah, and on Saturday, September 9th, if you're into concerts, there's The Weeknd and the Queens of the Stone Age happening. Queens of the Stone Age.
Okay, so Weeknd, I can appreciate what he's done, music-wise. I can't say he's my favorite artist, but...
Me either.
But he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a great following. Queens of the Stone Age, on the other hand. See, I'm an 80s baby. I'm an early 80s baby. And I kind of like that grunge rock 90s into 2000s. Queens of the Stone Age is definitely my jam. I'm actually going down in... the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going down to California and I'm going to see them perform. They're doing Cal Jam, which is kind of apparently like the Dave Grohl / Foo Fighters concert.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to check them out in California. So that's real. I never knew they were in town.
Yeah, no, they're in town.
Fancy
Maybe you can
that.
go see them twice.
I could see them twice. You guys can go check them out. Or if you want to do something else, just drink and paint. I'm pretty sure that's what I do. And that's why my office looks so great. All right. Now, before we get to our guest, I made a mistake in my podcast. So we went on a bit of a Star Trek rant a couple times, I think, and Jerry Taylor I inappropriately referenced as the showrunner when, in fact, she was a scriptwriter and producer of TNG. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make these mistakes. I'm going to make them a lot. So if you want to point them all out to me and be really, awesome and let me know all the times I screw up, you can catch the podcast on Twitter, @StringerPodcast, on Instagram, @StringerPodcast, and you can email us, podcast@thestringers.com. That's Stringers with a Z. If you're in America, with a Z. If you're in Canada, podcast@thestringers.com. If you're listening, and if you aren't, it's just Kylie and I. We're in it
listen to you all day.
We're in it for the long haul. Kylie.
Yep.
Reach over there. Do me a favor. Yeah, just over there. And pass me my sax. I did the same thing. Unstun. Are you a Star Trek fan?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. Are you?
Dude, I love Star Trek.
Oh.
Joining the Force.
Oh, dude.
War, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation. What do you want? Voyager?
Oh, you're
Whoopi
all
Goldberg?
up on it.
Dude, I was a kid that just sat there and watched whatever city TV put on.
So, for me, I always have to have a TV show on, like just on my iPad when I'm going to sleep. I just like the background noise. And I'm right now on season 5 of Next Generation. And I started from season 1. And I'll like, if you have a restless night, you end up watching 2, 3, 4 episodes as you go. And that... it holds up. Like, it
stands the test of time.
Clear. Though I will point out that the only characters you brought up were Worf, Geordi LaForge,
and Whoopi.
And Whoopi.
I live my life through black characters.
But don't we all? But through people we can relate to.
Yeah, exactly, right? Not that I can relate to Whoopi.
Or Worf.
I don't know, man. My forehead's kind of big. I got that in common with Worf.
I love the show. Last night's episode.
Wait, are we recording?
Riker. Yeah, we're going.
This is it?
Yeah. This is how we start.
We started talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a soft start.
Okay, all right.
It kicks off. This is going to be episode 1. This kicks off. If we're going to start with anything, starting with Star Trek is probably the best way to start any podcast that I'm part of.
And showing off my racial bias. But okay, that's cool.
William Riker fell in love with a person of an androgynous species.
Yep.
And so she was like, I don't understand. How does it work in a society with 2 sexes? And he's like, I don't understand. How does it work in a society with 1 sex?
We're all asking ourselves that same question right now.
But what was really interesting is there was the hard undertones in it, and you could tell because her society, once the 2 of them fell in love, and she said she identified as female, the society then put her in they took her away and was going to put her in for treatment. Because,
to make her androgynous?
To make her androgynous because these aren't the right feelings that you should be feeling.
The right feelings.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So,
well, I mean, there's certain people in our society who feel there are the right feelings right now.
Exactly. But it was interesting to see in 90, so this would have been probably season 5, 94, 95.
So far ahead of their time.
So far ahead. How they're tackling something that really, I'd say, it was definitely part of our culture and the movement of, especially in the U.S., the homosexual community.
LGBTQ.
Thank you. To try and gain equality, which is just equality. It just means you and me are equal and are on the same page. But it didn't come to a head, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, it didn't really come to a head until the early 2000s.
I would say even late 2010 plus.
Yeah.
With, Miss Jenner.
So 15 years ahead, they're already tackling what an atrocity this is.
Props to Star Trek Next Generation. Right? I mean...
Completely.
Those writers are brilliant.
And you have balls. Right? To tackle a massive issue that isn't so popular.
Or huge ovaries, if we're going to be non-gender specific.
True. And actually the showrunner, I believe, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but her showrunner, the showrunner was a female, and I'm almost 100% positive of that.
You know a lot about this.
If I'm wrong, I'm going to cut it out.
I'll leave it in, and then if they hear it, they'll be like, this guy's an idiot, and they'll call you, and then maybe you can get them on the podcast as a guest.
It was either... That's a good idea. Though I want to do everything in person. Actually, my one goal is not...
You got a budget to fly the showrunner out?
I fly already for work.
True.
Right? I'm all over the place. I'm in LA for...
Yes, that's one thing I know about you.
5 days.
All over the place.
I'm all over the place. And so I'm in LA for 5 days at least in September for work.
Oh, I'll be in LA in September too.
Really?
Yeah. I think Nike's doing the new NBA jersey launch in LA. It's going to be my first time. I'm so excited.
Tell me about it.
I don't even know too much about it. I just know that Nike, who's a company I work very closely with over here, they recently regained the rights to the NBA, bumping Adidas out of that position. So they're going to do a big launch of the new Nike jerseys, which look amazing so far. I love them. And there will be an event. I don't know the exact date and timing, but I know the way Nike does it, it's going to be an amazingly huge, dope event somewhere in LA. And I've never been to LA before, and it was actually on my list of places to go this summer, but I kind of figured out what was going to happen, so I waited out.
This is what I've always... So you bring up Nike and your relationship with them. This is what I always loved and still love about you. And we'll go through maybe some more stuff in a bit. How did that... Is your ability to connect and resonate with companies? And I think of Foot Locker, and I think of Nike, definitely.
Yep.
And I also think of Chapters Indigo.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's huge.
But start with Nike. How do your relationship with them start? Like, how do you... This is the biggest brand when it comes to shoe companies in the world.
Yeah.
And hey, I am a sneakerhead. I've got more than enough. I remember, I still have my first pair of Jordans that I ever bought.
Phew.
I like my shoes, even though...
What are you wearing right now? What do you got on? What are you rocking?
I don't know.
Let me see. Lift your foot up. Those are nice. What are those? Pro Cats? Chucks? You don't know what they are?
Converse. I don't know what they are. These are my...
You might not be that big of a shoe head.
No, I'm not. These are my shoes that I wear when I don't have to wear socks. right? And so I expect
These
them
are
to be
my
dirty.
shoes I wear when I don't have to wear socks.
So what are those?
These are some...
Because no one listening can see.
Well, I mean, you guys can all tell what shoe this is, right? Let me just look at it.
Just listen to it.
It's the Nike Flyknit Racer, all white, because, you know, I don't know.
Contrast.
Maybe.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's true, right? My chocolatey legs and this super cocaine white sneaker.
That's why I buy black shoes.
Oh, is that
Clearly. No, it's not. I need something to go with all my old gray wardrobe.
So where are we going with this?
No, how did your relationship with Nike go? Like, how did it all start up?
Well, my relationship with Nike all started a very long time ago. Probably I was 9 years old. And I didn't...
far, far away.
No, this was in Toronto. Yeah. And I think I was 9, one of my first years here. And I wanted a pair of Nike Air Force. I think they're the Nike Forces. And obviously we couldn't afford the Forces, but there was another shoe like one step down. It wasn't that far of a step down, but it was a step down. And it was Larry Johnson's Converse Reacts. So my aunt bought me the Converse Reacts because the Forces were a bit outside my price range, but my cousin got them. And I was extremely upset, and it ate at me forever. And I remember I got my first pair of Nikes, the Nike Air Tenacity. No one knows about the shoe. No one's heard of the shoe. It's not even a fly shoe, but it was my first pair of Nikes. I still to this day remember the smell of them. But Nike's always been a leader, not just in the marketing of the game of basketball, which is extremely close to my heart, but in innovation and technology. And I'm a person who's very fit. I'm very into... just finding the best things. Like if you're going to work out, wear the best sweater that allows you to perform better. I want to win. I want pieces that are going to allow me to become more and to be more active, to be more competitive, to be more of a winner. And Nike's always kind of held that role in like, I guess this portion of society, whether it's football, basketball, because like, these are sports I grew up on. So I've always had a really, really, really strong passion for Nike. And one year I met a guy named Dwayne Watson, who Sweets. I actually already had a relationship with Nike through one of my best friends, Vidal. He won something called the Battlegrounds a few years back, so I got to know the people at Nike, and they started to send me some pieces here and there through my relationship with him. But once I met Sweets, who had formerly worked in the music industry, he had some very strong relationships and had some knowledge about what Nike was doing business-wise, and we had just started working on the Hangout together after I brought him in as our producer, and he made a couple calls, we had a couple lunches, and after the introduction...
So LA of you.
Well, hey, shoot, all right, I'm going to fit in, then I go then. But he made a couple calls, we had a couple lunches, and a lot of the projects that myself and Sweets were working on were really aligned with Nike's vision for basketball in the city moving forward. And out of that birthed... this shipping relationship where boxes just show up at my house. And we've done a couple of other cool things too, but definitely Nike's always been one of those brands for me that really resonates with the person I actually am. So I don't partner with every brand. Like, when you're one of those Instagram people, which I'm, not that high up on that ladder of, but you'll still get a lot of offers from people to do different things. But it's really got to resonate with who I am. And I think you mentioned Chapters Indigo. I love reading. I'm a voracious reader. I'll read anything that's not fiction. And it's just part of who I am. And that's how that partnership with Indigo came about.
I've got a thing going this year, and it was actually from another podcast I was listening to, but I'm on like those early 1900s tycoon swings right now. So like Vanderbilt.
Napoleon Hill.
I don't have a Napoleon Hill book. Actually,
Think and Grow Rich is the book that got the United States out of the Great Depression. It's one of the greatest pieces of success literature ever written. Napoleon Hill is a brilliant, brilliant man.
This is what I love about you. You're just full of information. Now, this is going to be so classically me. I'd like to welcome to the podcast Akil Augustine.
Hi, everybody.
Didn't introduce the guy at all. Producer and talent on NBA TV Canada in a series of different shows, as well as motivational speaker.
I don't like the term motivational speaker as much as I lead workshops. I lead storytelling workshops.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to lead a storytelling workshop.
I think you got the skills. You got the chops.
Nah, I don't know. You have a charisma about you that is infectious.
Ooh.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, some girls have told me that before.
Have they? Do you still talk to them?
Joke.
We've known each other.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of when we actually first met.
It was probably walking down Parliament one day. coming from the studio and like
when we first I think we first met
Clarky.
So it would have been through Chris Clark.
Yep.
Yeah, Clarky. I'm guessing 2009, 2008, 2009.
That farther than that.
Leaf Space.
Oh, was it? Leaf Space
Yeah,
was
it would
2009?
have been Leaf Space. So Leaf TV had definitely, because I started my relationship.
Why does it feel so much longer?
It may have been 2008.
I swear to God, it was 20 years ago.
But thanks, it definitely ages us.
Yeah.
You haven't. How long have you been with Maple Leaf Sports Center or Leafs TV and NBA TV Canada?
I started with NBA Excel probably in the year 2004 or 3 at Sportsnet, and then when it shifted over here, probably in 2005 or 6. So I've been here 11 years.
Sheesh.
12? No, more than that, like 12 or 13 years.
It's interesting for us because we're sitting in a building which we're not actually. No one really is here anymore. There's like my team is here, which consists of 4 people, and there's one editor and one engineer. It's the 307 Lakeshore studio,
which will soon be another condo in downtown Toronto.
Is it? Because I see for lease signs outside the front door. I think they're trying to lease it.
This same building?
This same building.
They ran us out of it?
No, I don't want to speak out of turn, but Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment's contract was up. I think the plan in the long run was always to find
a new home.
A new home.
We're at the ACC now.
We're at the ACC now. So it's neat because it wasn't in this building that we first met, but I'm guessing it was a Leaf Space event because Leafs TV had like a fan generated show.
Remember Tweetups? Remember when people used to actually attend Tweetups?
It was the big thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we all met up in March to watch a Leafs game at a pub. And I think and you were there and Mike Brock was there.
Was this when
Chris
the NBA
Clark
was on strike and they made me work hockey?
No, that was still 2 years after.
Okay.
Because that was like 2012. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
I became a hockey reporter for a year.
You and Kat came over and worked hockey. And I'm not saying you can't do it.
No, just
not at all.
Figure out where the blue line was.
It's the stripe across the middle of the jersey.
That blue thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They got you guys. I was so jealous because they got both of you jerseys with your names on the back, and yet I had been here, I think, 3 years, and I still have a jersey of my own.
Wow.
I was like, dang it.
And I'm
like, they just shipped over.
Yeah.
That was the
signing bonus. That was the signing bonus for our new contracts, I think.
That was to make you guys feel good for the sake of there not being basketball for the year.
Yeah, we needed it.
We have been here as both of... I'm not going to say my career's grown because I'm pretty much in the same spot. But
you're doing a podcast.
I'm doing a podcast, the Kylie and Clay podcast. We're going to call it from now on. But you always had an itch to be on air. Like there was, I always saw it in you. You always had the personality to deliver information and deliver in a way that people are going to care. But it took some time.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't know. I started out as a grunt. So I used to, my career started as I was the guy that would show up at 7 p.m. when the game starts at 7:30. I would get like these 7 sheets of lined paper with time code placements on them. Time code is like at what point in the day did this event happen? And I would log all of the plays from each Raptors game every night. So 82 nights, it's like a hallway with a TV and a piece of paper writing down time code. And from there, I started doing
those were old temporary desks.
Yep, the old temporary desks. And then I became a overnight producer for Game in an Hour, Game in 6 Minutes, and all sorts of other cool properties that we had. And then I became the web reporter for the Leafs and the Raptors. And then I became the Daily Show host. And then I became the pre- and post-game show host for 2 episodes and then got fired. And then...
How'd that feel?
Now it feels good, right? Then you went home and you cried.
Yeah.
But now it feels good because you made your way back on air after getting axed so quickly.
Yeah.
And then, I started that whole Couch Life web blog series. And that turned itself into the Hangout, which then evolved into me getting a lot more opportunities on air. And now I'm on Clay's podcast. So dreams do come true, kids.
No, I owe you the favor. I owe you the thankful for that. The thanks for that. But it was like you brought up Couch Life, which I loved, and I think I came and shot an episode of Couch Life.
Yes, you did. Wow, that's crazy.
In your apartment when you're at like Danforth and
Broadview.
Basically DVP. Yeah, Danforth and Broadview.
Home, East York, all day, baby.
So, like, I always love it when people, when their career is springboarded by something they're like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going out and I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for anyone to tell me to do something. I'm just going to go out and do it. and then feel good about it because that's what I want to do.
Well, at that point, I was backed into a corner. I mean, you get fired from the Raptors pregame show. I don't think anyone's looking at you as a basketball reporter too strongly after that. So it was really out of necessity. I really, really, really wanted to get back on air. I knew it was what I wanted and needed to do with my life in order to accomplish all the goals and dreams I'd set for myself. So I said, if no one else is going to put me on air and if no one else is going to give me that chance, I got to make that chance for myself. And I invested a bunch of money, bought like 10 grand worth in cameras I didn't know how to use with my own money. Wow, those are some rough nights, man.
Own still.
Yeah, you bought one of my cameras.
I bought one of your cameras off you and your lens.
Yeah, and I used to have that exact same what's
recorder?
That?
H4n.
The H4n recorder. Yeah. I like, for a guy who didn't know a damn thing about how to produce television, I really put my money where my mouth was.
For a guy that says he doesn't know a damn thing about producing television, you've been producing for, 15 years now?
Which is
man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But Couch Life was crazy because it was in your place on a couch, go figure,
wow,
with you and your buddies.
Yep.
But then you'd get these one-time guests that would pop in.
Guys from Ottawa come by, guys from Montreal that came by.
But I'm talking Raptors. You had John.
What was it? John Lucas.
John Lucas III.
Yeah, that was really weird. We had struck up a friendship, and I told him I was doing. Damn, dude, I forgot about that.
Crazy, right? These are the things that imprint on my mind.
No, I completely forgot. John Lucas came over to my house,
chilling at your pad,
and we were just chopping it up. Because the thing about John Lucas is his dad is a piece of basketball history, right? So this is John Lucas III we're talking about, but the John Lucas is a guy who was part of the NBA during that the cocaine 80s. They called it. He was a guy who kind of was removed from the league, but now he's become this lightning rod for players trying to bring themselves back into the league. He was one of the guys that ushered a lot of the ex-players who had trouble back on the road to success. And his son was, right there in his lap watching all of it happen. And it was a really great episode, and he was really friendly. And I think he still plays with the Timberwolves. We still link up every once in a while. But yeah, that was, dude, thank you so much for that memory. I forgot that happened.
Couch Life was real. Like, it was no joke, just a bunch of guys watching basketball and
talking shit.
And for whatever we lack in production quality in anything we do on the side, the fact that it's user generated, it's created by us, just people who want to create stuff, makes it so sick and so real. And then that morphed. That went from Couch Life into the Hangout,
Canada's only half-hour feature basketball talk show. Yeah, man, that's true.
Which, even then, it's not like they're like, Akil, we really like your idea. We're going to take it, and we're going to give you a big studio. They said, no, Akil, we're going to take it, and we're going to put you in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean...
we're gonna put you in the kitchen because that's where it was filmed.
Yeah.
It's a nice kitchen. Don't get me wrong.
For year 1 and 2, we shot it in like the lounge area of the kitchen here at 307 Lakeshore, and it was our very first episode was a trip. So the very first episode of the Hangout. People don't know
I still have it on my DVR.
People think that myself and Dwayne Watson have been working together for like 20 years. We had maybe met months before the Hangout got on air, and I think someone canceled on me. Someone really big canceled on me for the first episode, and it was the morning of the show, and I'm like, I don't have my yeah, okay, well, I'll let you say that. My fourth guest. And I called Dwayne, who I just recently started to admire for his writing and his involvement in the community. And I said, dude, can you get down here for like 3 o'clock to do this show? And he's like, well, I'm dropping my daughter off at university, and I think it was like Windsor or somewhere, but I can make it back. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, yeah, I can make it back. So our very first episode with myself, Dan Gladman, Dwayne Watson, and of course, the homie, Dwayne Casey, head coach of the Toronto Raptors.
I was going to bring that up. I thought it was Dwayne Casey.
Yeah, it was.
In the first one.
He's an amazing man. He's been such a great friend. He's been so open. I think he really likes to see young black men become successful, and he's invested some time and some energy into me and just being there for me. So I know a lot of people hit me like, oh, Dwayne Casey, iso ball. Oh, I hate that guy. But I mean, when you know someone on a personal level, it's that much harder to hear people talk trash about him. So I don't really take the Dwayne Casey trash talk too easily. But he's been an amazing force in my life, and I'm thankful that he's the Toronto Raptors coach.
One of my favorite things that you've done, standalone piece, was for Black History Month, when it was you and Dwayne Casey and Wayne Embry and... Was it John Lucas?
It was John Lucas.
Was that the fourth person?
That was the fourth person.
That's like your crew.
That's the homie. Well, Wayne Embry, of course. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but the very first black GM in professional sports. He was the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had a great team that he GM'd that fell short to Michael Jordan in the playoffs. But Embry's a piece of history. He was there when they wouldn't let black athletes eat in the same diners as other people, and he'd been through the whole civil rights movement, and just to rub shoulders and have a guy like that around, especially when I'm trying to do similar things for young black people in Canada, just knowing that he's been through that in the States where it's so much more intense. It's just good to have him around to rub shoulders with people like that, to know that, we're all walking on two legs, putting on pants 1 foot at a time. And
I think it's too much of a tough issue to try and crack right now, everything that we've been going through, everything North America has been going through. But I will say something that I'm extremely evident of, probably over the last 3 years, is that ignorance comes in that idea that our society is past racial problems, right? Because growing up, as I did, in a white male in a school, my high school had literally one black kid and one Asian kid in 1,600 people.
What city?
Newmarket, Ontario. It's way different now. But growing up, you always think, those racial issues are a thing of the past. And you live your life to try and personify that and push that forward. But the last few years has taught me that more work has to, there's more work on all of us, that not being a voice and not being a positive force is actually just being an annoying bystander that says everything is fine. But what I'm impressed by are those who still have positive outlooks. And that's what I remember out of that panel that you're on, or that show you're on. It's not having a positive outlook. It's the idea that you can say, yeah, this is what was, but this is what is, and this is where things going.
Well, my thing is work works, man. Work works. If you work at something, it'll work. And I think we're watching what's happening in the United States, and I think what's happened is people stopped working. I think people felt like this civil rights movement was over. They felt like, we had achieved equality. You got, rappers have liquor companies now. Like, we're good.
Because that's the bar.
Right?
That's the bar. If rappers could have liquor companies,
then we're good.
Then the world is at peace.
And I think we got lazy, and we kind of forgot, and we let the underbelly swell and grow, and certain people have tapped into that frustration that other groups have because of, a lack of education on what's actually causing society's problems. And I think in Canada, too, it's a little different, because in America, the racism is just... it's so in your face, right? It's so in your face. It's so evident. I think Canada doesn't have the same problems as the United States, but we have our own problems. Like, I'm a guy that I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. It was all black, all Indian. And not Indian, I don't mean native Indian. I mean Indian from India.
Yep.
And
that's why the food's so good.
Oh, yeah.
The two cultures coming together. Man.
And then I moved to New York City, and then I came here. And so the first time I'd seen... because in Brooklyn, this ain't Brooklyn today. We're talking Brooklyn in like 89, 90. So it was a very black place.
There's a comedian that goes on a bit about Brooklyn. Yeah. Oh no, it's Michael Che, who you had gone, but he goes.
That's the homie, by the way. Shout out Michael Che.
We'll talk about that in a minute. That whole event's crazy. But he does this whole bit on how we should just send an army of white women over to Assyria, because if they can gentrify Brooklyn, they can gentrify anywhere in the world. Because as he said, in the late 80s, it wasn't the same Brooklyn. It wasn't as
it was the capital of crack. It was the capital of crack, and my parents did a great choice. They sent me to Toronto. But when I came to Toronto, first time I saw large amounts of white people. First time I saw a Filipino person. First time I went to a Catholic school at Maine and Danforth, and I was like the third black kid at the school. Everybody was Italian, Filipino, because I was Roman Catholic at the time. So it was a big, big, big eye opener for me. But I think the difference between what's happening in Canada and what's happening in the United States is, in the United States, there's a huge history of resentment between the groups of people that share the land. I don't think there's that here. But what I think there is once there's been an established upper crust, an established a higher society, it's hard to crack that ceiling, especially in a society where the middle class has kind of been eroded over the last 20 years. So now I think one thing I've noticed is there aren't very many black people in power. There aren't very many black people here. I mean, you think about the black population in Canada, it's pretty much in Montreal, it's in Toronto. I mean, I've been to Vancouver a bunch of times. I can't say I know a lot of black people in Vancouver. So I think it's such a smaller group of people, and they're kind of isolated. That within that group, there isn't a lot of power. And I think that's maybe the one concern that I think I have here is how do you give power to a group of people? Because I see it represented in television. Like, it's something I deal with a lot of times. Like, you know, my point of comparison is the Indian community has a tremendous amount of power. So you watch TV, you watch the news, you watch any network, and you're going to see a lot of Indian faces. You see a lot of Asian faces because those groups have power here, whereas the black people here, it's a smaller community, and they don't have as much power. So there isn't much dollars and cents put behind them. There isn't much investment in that community. And I think that's one of the concerns we have here. But the honest truth of the matter is this is home for me, and I'm not going anywhere.
Good. I'm glad. I don't know. We've been friends for too long. I don't know what I'd do. You were like, honestly, all I had to do was text you on a Saturday morning while I was sitting at the airport and be like, yo, what are you doing on Monday? You're busy? And you're like, that's weird.
Wait, how's the conversation read? Because you know what? Sometimes, like, people will text you and they'll be like, you know, like, you got free time. So the question was, what's good for you on Monday afternoon? No, that wasn't it. It was, where's the damn question? Oh, here it is. Good morning, Akil. It's Clay. How busy are you on Monday? See, that's a setup question.
Because I want to put you to work.
Yeah, it's like, how busy am I? So my response was, that's a weird question. What's up? But once I found out you were doing a podcast, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll support anything you do, man. You know I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you ever need a couch to crash on, I might take the one from downstairs. Yo, if they're getting rid of it. I want that so bad.
They did an inventory, though. I was told, don't take anything or you'll get fired. I was like, yo, what do you guys do with those couches? Like, we did inventory.
How many times can they fire one person before it actually sticks?
Honestly,
that's my question around here.
You touched on Michael Che.
But Michael Che was, that whole event, first of all, he's one of my comedic heroes. And he has been for like 5 years.
I just found out they're doing a show, the Weekend Report, every Thursday night.
Every Thursday, 4 of them, leading into September. And
I gotta watch those.
My DVR has not yet captured, because that's the extent of my problems right now, is when my DVR won't capture the shows that I wanted to, and I haven't seen one yet. But I did see Tina Fey was on, I guess, last week, and her little excerpt about just yelling into cake. And
what?
Yeah, so she's like, you know how I treat everything that's going on? She's like, just get a cake. Look, it's a cake. And then she just eats it and yells every problem that America thinks it's facing at the cake as she eats it. Wow. And the idea is that you feel better at the end.
Oh, okay. You eat a whole cake and feel better at the end? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. It's a new one.
It was good. Tina Fey is an absolute genius. But Michael Che, he comes to town, and I didn't know until late that he had the show, and I was working.
He did 2 shows.
Shit.
Yeah, he did like a 6 and a 9.
Oh, yeah. 2 shows on the same day.
Yeah.
So I didn't know till about 20 after 8, I think, that he was doing a show. And I was still working, and I was hemming and hawing over it, and hemming and hawing. And there's tickets available, and I'm like, should I go? I don't know. I'm seeing if anyone else can go with me. I don't end up going. But then you have the night of your life.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Oh, well, the story goes like this. My homegirl hit me up. She's like, I got this extra ticket. Someone bailed. Do you want to go see Michael Che? I'm like, what? Yeah, I want to go see Michael Che.
Of course I want to see
Michael Che. And it's at the Danforth Music Hall, which is literally across from my house. Like, I could turn around the corner, hit McDonald's, get a McDouble, and then walk right into that place, which I don't do.
Yeah, I was going to say, you eat McDoubles and look like that.
No, I don't. I eat McDoubles. But no, so I get there, and I'm in the back, because, you know, we didn't have the best seats. So I'm in the back of the bottom section of the Danforth Music Hall. And Michael Che commences to do his bit. He's there with Cypher Sounds, big time DJ producer in the hip hop game, but also a budding comedian. So him and Cypher Sounds are doing their bit back and forth, and then Michael Che gets into his routine. But this whole start of his routine, he tried to do like a little Toronto thing, but he's making fun of Rob Ford a lot.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting there.
It's a little dated.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, like, I'm not the biggest Rob Ford fan, but you don't roast a dead man.
No.
Right? Or maybe you do. I don't know. But probably like some grievance time in between. But I was pretty sure he didn't know Rob Ford was dead. So, you know me.
Which is a great conversation opener.
Yeah. I'm I'm not known as a tongue biter, so I just stand up and I yell, Rob Ford's dead. And
the place goes quiet.
Everybody shuts up. And you should have seen the look on Michael Che's face. So Michael Che's like,
He's probably trying to read the situation.
Yeah.
Like, are you his buddy? Or what? I don't want to say buddy.
But Cypress Sounds cuts in and just looks at him and goes, yeah, dude, I didn't want to interrupt your set, but yeah, he's dead. And then he's like, oh. But he recovers well. He does a couple more jokes, but like he kind of like backs off the whole Rob Ford thing. And then the kicker, he goes, all right, white man, thank you so much, white man in the back. I'm like, what? He just called me a white man? So I let it sit on me for like 2 seconds. My homegirl's sitting beside me just dying. And I go, I'm not taking this. So I stand up again. I go, I'm black. And then he was on at this point. He's like, well, I have never, ever heard anyone yell, I'm black so passionately in a room full of white people. First off, are you even black? What's your name? And I go, Akil. He goes, oh, yeah. Both his parents are black. Then he calls me up to the front of the stage, and I guess he orders like a bottle of aged whiskey, and he gives myself and actually the other guy he was heckling with was Jawad Rathor, huge Raptors fan, Fortress man, property developer here in the city. He sits me and my homegirl beside Jawad, front row, and commences to serve us the whiskey, and I get to go up and kind of make IG stories and interact with him on stage, and it was just an amazing night.
I'm sitting at work still losing my mind. I should have just bought the damn ticket.
Should have just rolled, bro.
Comedy shows, anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything, and that's why I love them so much. And that's, we have Just for Laughs coming to Toronto in September. 42 coming to Toronto. And I'm a huge supporter. It was Mike Birbiglia was just announced. And then, and he's like, if you don't know him, if anyone doesn't know him, he's a really slow talker. And he said earlier in his career that people would tell him that comedy is supposed to be delivered quickly. But he just has a new Netflix special out. I don't want to say just. He has a new Netflix special out that I watched the other night. And then it's followed up the day after by it being announced that he's at Just for Last 42. And I lost my mind.
Doing those same jokes.
I don't care if he's doing the same jokes. I can listen to the same jokes over. I get it.
I've seen...
They aren't coming up with it off the top of their head.
Yeah,
this is
worked
written
on material.
And I'm totally fine with that, and I'll laugh all the same.
Who are your top 3 comedians right now?
Currently touring or top 3 in history?
No, not in history. Top 3 doing it right now. Currently writing jokes. Actively performing.
Louis C.K.
Yeah, that's number 1.
I'm top 3 kind of together.
No specific order.
Yeah, no specific order. Louis C.K., Lewis Black.
Really?
Still, I love the angry.
The angry's been good.
The angry makes me howl. Okay. Like, I die at angry.
Okay.
But you heard the hesitation in my voice because, like...
He doesn't do as much.
But he doesn't do as much. Chris Hardwick. Chris Hardwick, founder of Nerdist.com. He's hilarious. And I can't get enough. His show just wrapped up. His Comedy Central show At Midnight just wrapped up. And it was hilarious. He hosted... have you ever seen At Midnight?
I've never seen Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick's hilarious. I'll show you some stuff once we're done. But he hosted a show. It's called At Midnight. And it was a game show. And the 3 contestants were also comedians.
Oh, no, I do know Chris Hardwick. That show. Yeah, I did watch that show.
It was hilarious.
It was good, yeah.
And I loved it because he just... Like their big driving part each episode was hashtag wars, where they'd be like, add a family member to a song name, and then you mash up a song name and add.
It's like improv on steroids.
It's improv on steroids, and it killed me. It always killed me, and his sense of timing kills me. And I have all of his stand-up specials, downloaded on my phone. Chris Hardwick, I'm gonna say Louis C.K., Lewis Black, Mike Birbiglia.
That's 4 people now.
I know, but Mike Birbiglia is 4.
Oh,
he
so
was the top 3, and then Mike Birbiglia, he's right there. He's skirting
waiting for Lewis Black to die, and then Mike Birbiglia is right in there.
A Season Sorry, I think his...
really?
He did the...
Okay, now you're at 5.
Square.
Can I give my 3?
Yeah, please.
You're about to be at 10 in a second.
I could go 12.
I love social commentary, so my 3 comedians are the 3 best social commentary comics out right now. I
like how you said the 3 best.
They're the 3 best. They are the 3
as judged by Akil.
There's no argument in my mind. No one can come up to me after I make this list and say, dude, you know what? You're wrong. Tied for first are
3 people.
2 people.
Okay.
And the other guy, he's sitting in third, and that second spot's vacant. But tied for first are Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the butt.
Okay.
No, give me the butt. Give me the butt. Pause. Don't give me the butt, but just tell me why.
His last Netflix bit, loved the first one. Mm-hmm. Second one, barely laughed.
Did you watch them back to back?
I did watch them back to back.
That's probably the problem. You were probably laughed out. You need to space it out more, buddy. You maybe should have gone for a jog or something.
But I love them. I should go for jogs way more often, like daily, twice.
There was definitely a difference between the first hour and the second hour. But wasn't the second hour the one with the Bill Cosby joke? The second hour was the one with the Bill Cosby joke about women working in during World War II. That is one of the greatest structured jokes in joke history. The setup for that joke, I have not seen a setup. The man went from women joined the workforce in World War II. He walked us through black men. In the army, he went to Vietnam. He went to suffrage, and it all boiled down to the fact that Bill Cosby raped 52 women. Come on, man! I've never seen a joke like I can
go back and watch it.
The joke, but it's one of the best. Like if you're a nerd for jokes and you like joke structure. There wasn't an extra word in that joke. There was no fat. It was just a great joke. And then third, Bill Burr. William Burr is a beast. I could never watch it with like a girl because his views on women are, wow, you're getting into a fight listening to this guy?
And laughing, not listening. You can listen to him fine.
Yeah.
You can't laugh at him.
You can't laugh. You just got to stare and be like, wow, that guy's messed up.
Yeah, he's saying a lot of stuff.
But he is a brilliant comedian, and I think that's my top 3.
Jim Jeffries, I can keep going. Jim Jeffries, he has a new late night show on Comedy Central.
Does anyone have anything on Netflix? I don't have cable anymore.
Jim Jeffries has, I think, 2 specials on Netflix.
Okay.
They're both. He was the comedian. I hope I'm right. I'm pretty sure he was the comedian that went on the
Don't worry,
Laws.
if you're not right, just edit it out.
No, I'm going to leave it in and have the internet shit on me because that's what it's there for. It's a very supportive community of people that just want to lift
Love
you up
the
and
comments on my YouTube.
Make you feel better. No, Jim Jeffries, I'm pretty sure he was the one who had the commentary on the gun laws in the U.S. And he just went off and
I'm going to watch that tonight.
Left side or right side. Yeah, YouTube it. It has.
Did you watch Ozark?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude.
I know. I've the second guy in 3 days.
The horror. Ozark is the shit. It's the shits. It's so good. First off, anything Jason Bateman touches is gold.
But he's
except for that movie with Melissa McCarthy.
Which
Identity Theft?
Identity Theft.
Rubbish.
I didn't see that because I liked them both too much, and everyone told me to
You
stay
like
away.
Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, I do. Big time. Like, my love for Melissa McCarthy actually goes back to Gilmore Girls. She was in Gilmore.
You watch Gilmore Girls?
I'm unabashed. Saying it's just one of those.
When did she become famous, Melissa McCarthy? I thought she became famous from that. Was it The Bridesmaids? No, she wasn't even in that. What was the movie?
Yeah, she was. She was in Bridesmaids.
Yeah, I thought that's when she blew up, right?
Before then.
Really?
No, actually, do you have your IMDb?
I can pull it up right now.
Special guest appearance.
Kylie, she has the microphone sitting in front of her, but you get 2 guys like us in a room, and she can't find a word the whole time.
Yeah, but trust me, she'll be of use because there's going to be so many inaccuracies in the things we say.
I know.
She's going to be like, what's that guy? Stat Boy from PTI. Did you watch PTI?
No, I don't watch. Pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
It's here and there, not religiously.
Okay.
Like, if it's on, I'll keep watching it, but not...
she's our stat boy.
I thought...
Google stat boy.
I thought... Stat girl.
I mean, I was in reference to the guy that had already done
it's
it.
Like if
Tony
she was
Reali.
playing Peter Pan, we wouldn't have to call her Petra Pan.
I think we would call her Patricia Pan, no?
I grew up next to a Petra, so...
Petra. That's more of an Eastern block name than anything else.
Is it?
I think Petra. Is that
Petra?
Canadian?
Do we have it?
Do you know?
You know that she was in Charlie's Angels.
Melissa McCarthy was in Charlie's Angels?
She was CC.
Who the hell is
Okay,
CC?
get the shit out. I don't know.
Which one? Charlie's Angels or Charlie's Angels Full Throttle? Because it's a huge difference.
Just Charlie's Angels.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah.
I actually love those movies. I love those movies.
Well,
I mean, come on.
I'm not.
No, that's Charlize Theron. What's her name? What's the girl's name?
Which one?
Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore's in it. And then Lucy Liu.
Oh, Lucy Liu. I love me some Lucy Liu.
So give me what Melissa McCarthy did after Gilmore Girls. Because I took notice of her in Gilmore Girls. She played a character named Sookie who is absolutely hilarious. Sookie, she was a chef. Absolutely hilarious.
The first one after Gilmore Girls is The Captain.
The Captain?
Next.
Just Add Water.
Next.
Never heard of that.
Pretty Ugly People.
Next.
Samantha Who?
She's a working girl. Like, she's
out there.
clearly is out there getting
small
things.
checks.
Okay, Rita Rocks.
Next.
These are straight to DVD.
Private Practice.
Private Practice? That's a TV show, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The Backup Plan.
Oh, that's actually a movie that I've heard of.
I haven't. Oh, she's big, I swear.
Yeah. She's big, but in a different context.
It's Life as We Know It. And then Bridesmaids.
Then
So I told you she blew up from Bridesmaids, bro. Nobody knew who Melissa McCarthy was before that.
Bridesmaids is freaking hilarious.
Just you and your Gilmore Girls.
Just me and my Gilmore Girls. And
Bridesmaids
everyone
was
else.
ridiculous.
And everyone else who watched Gilmore Girls.
Bridesmaids.
It did pretty.
I had some people complain to me that Netflix didn't renew that show for a second season.
Which, Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, they did like a special Gilmore Girls.
They did 4 episodes. I thought it was coming back. It's not?
I don't know. I just witnessed 2 people arguing about it.
I don't know.
It seemed interesting.
They brought back Gilmore Girls. I can see how perhaps it didn't do so well. I'm not really sure because Netflix never released it.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
definitely.
You should have watched it. You was a bigger fan.
Yeah, I was big into it. I liked how it went.
Stranger Things is coming back.
I'm so excited for Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh.
I have
Get
watched
your egos.
this series 3 times now.
Really?
And it keeps getting better. And this is what 2 big series that I was big on the last year and a bit was Westworld.
Oh my god.
And Stranger Things.
Okay, can I tell you a story about Westworld? So Westworld came out in I'd say maybe November, October times.
Yep, sounds about right.
So I didn't watch Westworld. So remember this January? We had no sunlight whatsoever. There was maybe in the month of January we had 28 hours of sunlight.
Toronto winters.
It was one of the coldest winters. It was borderline depressing. Okay, so I'm at home. I'm a single guy. I live by myself, and I have I was working NBD showcase. NBA season's going on. So when I got home, I just wanted to sit down, veg out, just not think. And I had a couple of days off, and I watched Westworld. I watched the first couple episodes. And by episode 7, first off, it blew my mind. Mm-hmm. But then, because I spent so much time alone, and it was dark, and it wasn't the best time, and maybe I was drinking too much, but I got into this Westworld-induced depression, where it was what's happening to the world? Is this really going to happen? Is this what's next? Westworld negatively impacted my psyche. Great show, but it put me in a very bad headspace.
Which makes it a great show.
Yeah.
I think if a character or a show can drag you in any headspace, it makes it unbelievable.
It was bad though. It was really bad. I had to.
So did you watch the last 3 episodes?
Yeah, that made it even worse. Yo, episode 7, 8, and 9, there were points with, oh no, is that what's happening? Oh my god. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, but there are 3 or 4
great moments.
Realizations. Yeah. I'm going to call them realizations in that show where you're just fuck.
But I'll say this.
Say it.
Stranger Things, Westworld. 2 big shows that I've loved over the last couple of years, or a year and a half. Watch it over and over and over again. Stranger Things holds up.
Yeah.
Westworld, you see the cracks.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell that complex of a story. You totally got people week to week to week. If you try applying that,
so if your fans are obsessive like Clayton, and they're going to watch your show
5
take
times.
Notes. You need a tight script. Here's a challenge.
It's tough
for them.
though. That's very tough because you're trying to keep everyone entertained.
Yeah. Here's a challenge for them though. How do they make a second season? Because that show was so good. I went and watched the original movie, and it's a larger scope. In the actual Westworld movie, they come off the bat saying that that's not the only world. there's other worlds. But you don't find that out in the Westworld show till the end.
And it's even that's like, it's not an Easter egg, but it's not completely out there. You just kind of pass through rooms.
And you see characters that don't belong in the Wild West. You're like, well, what's really happening here? Good show.
I don't know. They could go one of two ways, I think, with it. They could go True Detective, where they just drop you in another world. And it's a new maze to try and get out of.
True Detective didn't work, though.
Because everyone was attached the first season.
Because Rusy Cohle is the greatest television character of all time. Rusty Cohle, son.
So fucked up.
Rusty Cohle.
That first season, again, I've watched it several times. So good.
The reinvention of Matthew McConaughey has been one of the best things for me to watch in television and film. From Rusty Cohle to Interstellar to Dallas Buyers Club.
Mud? Did you see Mud?
No, I didn't see Mud.
Worth seeing as
Is it the one with him and the kid? Yeah, no, I watched the opening scene and I wasn't compelled.
It's good.
But McConaughey was a bum acting-wise. He was doing movies like Fool's Gold and anything where he would say the words,
I don't know what happened, because there was that movie that he did with Christian Bale, Reign of Fire.
Well, anyone who spends time with Christian Bale is going to up their acting game. Like, I don't like Christian Bale because he is one of the most intense method actors. Like, he's up there, and now you're not going to put anyone up there with him because Daniel Day-Lewis is such an anomaly and such a standalone performer of his time. But I mean, for our generation, we don't really have a Daniel Day-Lewis. And I would say Christian Bale really takes the roles that he plays seriously. Really, really seriously.
They say the same, and I'm using this as stark contrast. They say the same about Jared Leto. Or Leto.
I think it's Leto, no?
Leto. I will say both of them forever for the rest of my life until he comes up and corrects me and says, no, it's actually this way. Jared Leto, I've heard the same thing. Will get right in and not let go of who his character is, regardless of what it is. But very different. Both related to the Batman character in different ways. Yeah. But Christian Bale, The Machinist, I think is his greatest role that I've seen him in.
He lost 100 and how many pounds for that role? It was ridiculous. He looked emaciated.
He had to... I had heard he had to go in and do his screen test for Batman when he just finished Machinist. And so he was tiny. He was withered down, and he had to do his Batman screen test then. And I don't know whether he fainted or just had a really tough time just because his body was reacting to not eating anything for ages.
Can we shout out Christopher Nolan one time right quick? I just want to shout out Christopher Nolan one time right quick. Like he's my I don't know what he is. He's my North Star. He's the best thing to happen in movies in a long time. Like, when's this guy going to do a dud?
He and his brother.
Yeah, his brother's a great screenwriter. One of the best screenwriters. Those guys just throw 10 different types of heat. I watched Dunkirk. I was amazed. It was probably smaller than I thought the movie would be. I thought it would be more of an engrossing, larger scale story. But they really got specific to these characters. But that was brilliant. Memento. Come on.
That was the one. So Christopher Nolan's brother, can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Mr.
Nolan, the other one. Poor guy. He wrote the short story for Memento, which Christopher then directed the short.
And so there's a short out there?
Yeah, I think Memento originated as a short. Kyla, are you looking this up? No?
No, she's like,
I never know. I have to know what's on her screen at all times.
Who played the main character in Memento? It was, forget his name. Not Billy Zane.
How many tabs do you have open, Kylie? Now you know why I have tons open in mine.
Too many.
Who starred in Memento again? Guy Pearce?
Guy Pearce.
Yeah! Oh. One for Akil. Okay. Yeah, but that was that. If you haven't seen Memento,
it changed films for me. I think when I saw it, because I was just at the right age. What year did it come out?
2000.
2000. So I would have been 16 years old.
Wow.
In 2000 when it came out.
Yeah.
And it was just the right time where you're starting to think of film as more than just what's presented to you, more than just dinosaurs in a park, or more than just an alien coming down to visit. You're like, someone created this. Someone thought of this idea and then turned it into action. And Memento came right at that time where I was like, yeah, I'll forever remember this movie.
Yeah, no, that's I remember watching. I remember, you know, those memories where you can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember my cousin's basement when we watched that movie.
What does Memento smell like to you?
Mold.
He takes a
my
sniff.
Moldy cousin's basement. Mold and Brute. I think that was the cologne he wore. Brute. So kind of like seeped into the walls of his apartment. The basement.
Are you a cologne guy?
Am I? No, I am
Neither.
not a cologne guy.
I can't.
I have a gross over application problem, right? So it's like if I'm gonna put on cologne, I'm like putting it out in like my ear. I need to dab my ear. 2 shots on the chest, 3 shots on the back, 1 for the forehead because it's so big.
And
it's just all over the place.
And then this spray, the war forehead. Call back to the beginning. Call back to the beginning of the podcast. And then the spray that you put through your apartment and then walk through.
Yeah, right.
To make sure you're evenly dusted.
And then people be like, "Dude, chill on the cologne." I'm like, you know what? That's underarm from now on.
I had in previous lives when I've had different jobs. I was given a couple really nice bottles of cologne as a gift for Christmas.
Stetson?
No, Yves Saint Laurent.
Oh, a real nice cologne. Not like the cologne your parents give you.
No, they would give me...
Here's a 4-pack of Stetson.
Dracar Noir.
Yeah, like, really?
That would be what my parents gave me, and I couldn't stand the smell.
I smell like a CEO from 1960.
I smell like my dad's car. It was the smell he used to mask the alcohol he'd been drinking, which is absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
then why do you give that to me?
Let me take a shot of this cologne.
Yeah.
The mask.
The vodka that doesn't smell like anything anyway.
Really?
Maybe just
Vodka
I think
I can smell vodka.
You can smell vodka?
I have a very keen nose for alcohol.
What?
I'm like Toucan Sam-a-Holic.
Did you ever work at like barback or bartending
Yes.
or anything like that?
Yes, I was a barback. I was a barback at the Joker nightclub on Richmond back when Richmond was like the it
Scene.
spot, like late 90s, early 2000s. Yep, I was a barback Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights.
There's Joker, there's Whiskey Saigon.
Yeah.
What else was down there? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I never went out. I always worked, and my
Yeah,
friends would come by, and I'd see them partying, and I'd be collecting bottles.
So I was a little further up. I was at Mod Club, and I was across the road at another club, which I always forget the name to. What ruined alcohol for me was 4 a.m., and all you get is that gross smell of spilt drinks. Like, just that smell when the lights, when everyone clears out and you just have to clean the counters and count your till and do all that crap. That smell of, like, Coca-Cola and whatever bar was bar rail, that smell killed alcohol
You're
for
lucky.
me. And I'm not
It
even...
only happened at 4 a.m. Here's the trick with the Joker. So we had to move the bottles in this like elevator, you know, like a service elevator.
Yeah.
And it had like, the floor wasn't complete. Like it was like spaces in the floor. So bottles would break and liquor would seep through. So it didn't matter what time of day you came into the building.
Oh, it
that
reeked.
elevator reeked of just old beer, alcohol. It was.
It's the worst smell.
Yeah, I became desensitized to it by then.
I don't know why anyone... I know why, because it's not like I swore off alcohol, but I don't know how anyone that has ever been through that can ever really go to a club again and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because that's all I think about every time I walk
It just
in.
triggers you back to those long ass nights working for $90 collecting
It
drinks.
was, and actually tips were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing.
How much were you making? How much were you making? A good night, I probably made $230, but on an average night when like the club wasn't popping, like $90, $100.
So I would have been a little. So I would have like 2007, 2008.
I thought you made
was
said
when
you
I was
made
bartending.
$2,000.
No. But we do on a good night $650.
You would make $650?
Yeah, I would make $650
on a night.
Yeah, and then on a bad night it would be like $200.
Man,
And then that's on top. And they paid us like our hourly was $10 an hour. Which
Yeah, no, we got our hourly too. But
I
like, it
don't
wasn't
know why anyone ever paid us $10 an hour when like at the time you only had to pay $5.25 to scrubs like us.
Wow.
Because bar and service industry, the minimum wage is lower, right?
Is it?
Yeah, but they paid us $10 an hour, which was great. And then we killed. Mod Club killed.
Yeah, the
did
Joker
very
wasn't
well.
really known for its high-end clientele.
No.
And this was before the days of bottle service.
Everyone just rounding up to the nearest dollar.
Yeah.
To tip.
Well, whatever
what's
change
the bill?
I have.
$4.78. Here's $5. Keep the change.
Keep the change.
You can keep it. So what do you got coming up?
Oh, man.
It's that I don't think this is going to air until the very beginning of September.
Okay.
But we're recording the end of August, so it's only that far away.
All right.
But what's your September like? NBA's coming back?
Yep, the NBA will be back with a longer, extended season. Cut down the preseason, so we'll be doing more hangouts. Got some original content coming your way via the Toronto Raptors channels. Still working out the kinks and the details on that. And I've been doing some touring with the public speaking workshops. So did Halifax a couple times.
No way.
I was in London, Ontario back in August. And
back in August.
Remember
because
that.
these are always recorded live.
Yeah, so
this is live. Whenever you're listening to it, it's live.
I'm going to Halifax again this weekend and London the next weekend. So,
jeez.
And then,
so how do people get hooked up with that?
So
if they want to give us the
so I
411. Does anyone say 411 anymore?
I mean, no. If you listen
we
to
have cell phones,
to old R&B albums, someone will say it. But so I've developed these 2 workshops based around the skill of storytelling. I feel like that's what I've used in my life to get myself to the position that I'm in, and I feel like young people. Especially when they're trying to find their identity and they're in those crucial stages where they're separating from peer groups that they depended on for a long time. It's very important to have a kind of story that kind of gives you some kind of moral compass, some kind of guiding force. So I've developed these 2 workshops around storytelling that I've been working on. I've been doing it for about 4 years. So I've been refining the concept and doing dates sporadically. We launched a website this year. It's AkilAugustine.com.
Very original.
Yeah,
honestly.
I figured that's the one I needed. So
for people to find me and relate me to the guy in the photo.
So the electronic press kit's up there, all the info that whatever teachers, mentors, or people who have young people that would make use of this skill need. It's all on that website, and of course you can reach out. Twitter, Instagram. I don't do Pinterest, sadly, but I'm at Akil Augustine on all those formats.
You're not decorating your beach house with new found wood creations.
Well, actually, you know what's weird? My brother-in-law does that. Like, he does a lot of reclamation projects of old crap.
That's what Pinterest is amazing for.
You should check him out. He's got a television show on HGTV. His name's Seb Clovis, former CFL football athlete and Grey Cup champion. He's got a show called Saved by Reno, and he's on that home makeover show with all the big name makeover house show people.
You watch it regularly?
Brian Balmer and those guys. Yeah. I mean, I watch the support of Seb, but I live in an apartment in downtown Toronto, so I don't know how much of that home makeover stuff works for me, and plus I'm a minimalist. So.
I bought a mirror 6 weeks ago and hung it in my hallway, and that's my home renovation budget for the year.
Yeah, straight up, man. Minimalism is
got nothing
dope,
else.
Though. Yeah, I like open space.
You like open space?
I love open space. So I can run around, play, break dance, imagine.
So to wrap it up, to sum it up, Akil Augustine has Michael Dorn Worf's forehead. Yep. Apparently.
Yep. Actual size.
If you want to get in with Nike, you got to play it like Hollywood and go for lunch meetings.
You know what? Yeah, they'll pay for it too.
Really?
I mean, if you're good enough.
I was wondering what I was going to do for lunch today.
Hit up Nike. Say, yeah, I'm around.
And most importantly, if you want to do something, don't wait for someone to ask you to do something. Just do it.
Hey,
seriously.
My motto is this: don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Right?
If you've known Akil for any amount of time, especially in a work environment, you know that he lives by that. And it's been proven many, many, many times over and over. Akil, thank you so much.
Clayton, man, I wish you the best of luck with this project. I'm really happy you're doing this. I think you're the guy to do it. You've got the right personality for it. You got the energy for it. And anything you need from me, man, I got you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't know where this is going to go, but it's like a list of people that I just want to reconnect with. When's the last time we sat down for an hour and just shot the shit?
Leaf space.
Right? And we work together. We work in the same, and we don't work together. We work in the same environment.
But the workload's intense, and when the season's over, everybody runs the hell out of here.
They bail
their separate way
hard, and just catches up on sleep. And so it's just the ability to reconnect with all the people that I've grown close to in the industry and just in the community, which is I'm really excited for. But thank you. Dope. You're the perfect first guest, and I knew you're going to be, because when I brought this to you, the idea, and I just wanted to bounce it off you, it was like, March. It was 6 months ago, close to it. You were totally in on it. And you said, let me be our first guest. Like, come on, I want to be your first guest. And I said, okay, totally.
Well, hey, dreams come true.
My dreams come true. Thank you so much. And I don't know. I want to come up with a tagline.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I want to come up with a tagline.
I think you can do it.
I'm going to let you do yours. And then I'll hit you with mine, and then we'll end it.
Wait, what? How come I gotta go after you do yours though? I want to know what yours is.
Because mine's gonna be different. I know what you're gonna do.
Here's what I'm gonna do. The podcast is called Stringers. I'm the dude from the Hangout. People who watch the Hangout know how I say Hangout. So one time for my guy Clayton, this is Akil Augustine, man of the street out here in Toronto, and this is Stringers.
Eat your vegetables.